something needs to be done to counter the Obamacare death spiral. A new report from the Wall Street Journal shows insurers may possibly be ready to drop coverage altogether in parts of Iowa and Tennessee and to spike premiums in Virginia and Maryland. White House Chief of Staff Reince Priebus saying Republicans will eventually be rewarded for supporting the new health care bill.
There are some times in life you have to do what's right. Not what's politically expedient. We believe this is going to be a better product, and by the time that people see that the premiums are lower, that it's a better service, there are more options and more choices, they're going to reward the Republicans that stood up and said, we're not going to see the Obamacare system, which is failing and collapsing, continue any longer. We're going to do something better.
Okay, now Kevin Corke leads our coverage of the White House. And Kevin, good morning to you. What does the White House think will ultimately reach the president's desk?
Well, I think there's some cautious optimism, but I think there's a lot of pragmatism here, Bill. Listen, they understand that there's very little chance that what the House was able to push over the finish line on what the White House would clearly describe as a triumphant Friday is going to resemble very much of what the Senate will ultimately get to his desk. Let me share just a bit of what the president tweeted over the weekend and talking about, again, this idea that Obamacare is failing and now's the time to do something. He tweeted this on Sunday. Republican senators will not let the American people down. Obamacare premiums and deductibles are way up. It was a lie and it is dead. So what's the guy responsible for crunching the numbers think about that? Here's Mick Mulvaney.
One of the promises we're making to people is that the health care that we will be providing will actually be sustainable and be there. One of the stories I think that isn't getting nearly enough coverage is the fact that Obamacare is already failing in places like Iowa, and I think even Virginia found out this week they won't have coverage in some places. So one of the big pushes that we're making is we are going to provide a system that is actually sustainable and can survive and provide health care.
Failing, but we're going to come up with something better. That's the message that you're going to continue to hear, not just here at the White House, by the way, Bill, but also over on Capitol Hill.
So is the White House ready for what could be some political brawling in the days ahead?
I like the way you put that. Yeah, a lot of political brawling in the days and weeks and perhaps even months ahead. Very interesting. Listen to the House Speaker, Paul Ryan, discuss this. Again, sort of echoing what we've heard the White House say before. It's failing, and the fight is on to fix it.
The system's failing. We're stepping in front of it and rescuing people from a collapsing system. And more importantly, we're keeping our word. That's really important here, George. People expect their elected leaders, if they run and campaign on doing something, they expect them to do that, and that's what we're doing. We're keeping our word.
Keeping their word. As for the president today, Bill, a busy slate that will include meetings with his Vice President Mike Pence, his Secretary of State, and the National Security Advisor, General H.R. McMaster. Not public meetings, but we do expect we'll get a bit of a read of how they may have gone. And, of course, we'll have the briefing for you later today as well. Back to you.
All right, looking forward to that. A nice spring day for a change at the White House. Thank you, Kevin.